Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel, and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today. And today we're going to be talking about Gale Yellow Brick Road, a brand new horror movie that's coming out in February. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so if you don't know anything about Gale the Yellow Brick Road, and I imagine that a lot of people as of right now don't. It is based on, of course, The Wizard of Oz. However, this has a bit of a twist because this isn't the first film in this series of films based on Oz. But it plays out in a way that is very much in the vein of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and all these other public domain movies that get horror movies. However, you expect this to happen anytime you have a hit movie too, that mockbusters and other versions of this movie will be released. And of course, we got Wicked for Good. So right after Wicked for Good, you have a list of little horror movies that were pumped out because they can do this. They can actually make a horror movie based on this property. So what is the premise of this movie? So Gale Yellow Brick Road is an upcoming fantasy horror film and sequel of a short film called Gale Stay Away from Oz that imagines the Wizard of Oz as a terrifying realm, focusing not on Dorothy but on her granddaughter, Emily, as Emily is drawn into Oz's decaying, nightmarish reality to confront the trauma that has haunted her family for years. And this movie is going to have a special one-night theatrical release via Fathom Entertainment on February 11th of 2026. Now, this movie does have a trailer that is available for you to watch on YouTube. And if you find this trailer, you might just find yourself wanting to see the movie. It has a unique vibe to it that feels like this could be an interesting film. Even though it is directly an exploitation type of movie, the trailer presents itself as though this entire thing with Gale was that she, according to everyone else, imagined Oz and made up this whole thing after a storm. So she imagines this entire place. She imagines all of these characters, except that in this version, these characters are not your traditional members of Oz. No, you have this evil-looking Scarecrow. You have this evil-looking Tin Man. And you have the witch. You have all of it. And it's just this nightmarish version of what we've seen in the past. I find that a bit intriguing. I find that to be something that could prove to be interesting. But it's not the only one that's done this. So, of course, it has something that's inevitably either better or worse made. When you get into these public domain horror movies, that's what you're going to find every time. Either the movie is going to be something where everybody can look at it and say, wow, they have this really original and cool take. Or it's going to be something where it's a rinse and repeat of everything else that we're seeing out there for the same public domain horror movie. Now, of course, The Wizard of Oz has been in public domain for quite some time. And on occasion, we might have seen one or two interpretations that were different from what we were used to. However, with this new craze of everything that's public domain becomes a horror movie, of course, the Oz, the classic, was going to get drawn into that as well. And the thing about this one is that it does seem like it's going to try to bring something different to the movie. Now, yes, while I say it's going to bring something different to the movie, it also looks as though this is going to be one of those types of films in the vein of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Bambi the Reckoning, the Captain Hook movie. All of those things that we've seen in the public domain get horror movies, then, yes, they are going to lean into that same type of thing. But if you're looking for something to watch that is Wizard of Oz and also kind of horrifying, there is one that's already on Tubi. And the one that's already on Tubi is called Wizard of Oz: The Dead Walk. And this movie goes like this. Dorothy is tricked into unleashing the Tin Man and Scarecrow into the real world only to learn of their bloodthirsty cravings. Now that's what it says about this movie. And basically, yeah, that is this movie in a nutshell. So if you are interested in this type of thing, this movie can tide you over. It can't hurt. Wizard of Oz happens to be one of my favorite films. It is an absolute classic. I remember when they used to show it every year. And every year I'd sit down and watch this movie. And, you know, you escape into this magical realm. So to have something like that, anything from your childhood, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, all the stuff from your childhood going into public domain, Popeye the Sailor Man, and even Betty Boop. All this stuff gets made into some sort of horror movie now. And at least with The Wizard of Oz, I do feel as though there are some horror elements to it to begin with. If you were a little kid watching that movie, you might have even been afraid. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So when you have a world that does lean into things like wicked witches, flying monkeys, her wanting to actually physically kill this Dorothy girl, right? All that stuff. When you lean into that, there is something horrifying about that. There is this sort of horror movie vibe to even the original Wizard of Oz at times, even though that was so far from what the books were. When you see the movie, you could see how they could transfer it into a horror film. So that's why every now and then we've gotten these darker Wizard of Oz movies throughout the years. Things that kind of take this different take on the entire thing. But with this new one, I think that it's going to lean into it maybe a bit more. I haven't seen the short film that it's a sequel to, but I will be checking that out. And of course, I'm going to check this one out as well, because I am curious. Like I said, The Wizard of Oz leans into things that you can take in a horrifying way. So that's what makes this one maybe a bit more intriguing than turning Popeye the Sailor Man into a killer. But that is where I am going to leave it off to you guys. Are you interested in this movie? Do you think that it has potential to be good based on the description? What types of things do you expect from this movie? Do you expect it to be another rinse and repeat horror film of something that's in public domain? The same type of thing we've been getting with everything else that's in public domain? Or do you think that this has something different to offer? I just want to hear from each and every one of you, so make sure you're leaving me that comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you're thinking. There's no wrong answer. Just remember to be nice to each other, because we're all just fans at the end of the day talking about the things that we love. Share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of our conversation as well. And then if you like positive content, you're going to want to let the algorithm know by hitting that like button. It can't hurt. It can only actually help to let them know you want more people talking positive about the things you love. So if you like our channel personally, you know the routine. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you never miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.